Are you tired of those annoying posts on LinkedIn? You know, the ones, people arguing politics, people humble bragging, and maybe that generic influencer that always seems to repost the same content over and over again. Well, if so, you're not alone, but there are ways that you can actually train your feed to be a little less annoying. And in this video, I'm going to teach you how. Hey everybody, it's Brian from A Life After Layoff. And today I want to tackle everybody's favorite topic, LinkedIn, and how annoying it can be at times. If you follow me outside of YouTube, you know that I'm pretty active on LinkedIn as well. And in fact, I probably spent a majority of my time over there learning about the latest employment trends and just kind of keeping a pulse on things. And if you're an active job seeker, you know that that's my favorite place to find a job because the power of the networking alone is worth the price of admission or dealing with some of the annoyances that might come along with it. And sure enough, there are some things that I find relatively annoying. In fact, I made a video a while back about it, and you can dive into that if you want to learn a little bit more about my perspective on what I think is annoying on the platform. But one of the pieces of feedback that I receive consistently every time I post about LinkedIn on this channel or some of my other socials is that people don't seem to like LinkedIn because it has a lot of annoying aspects to it. And of course, as I mentioned on the top of this video, there's a lot of people who argue politics and other just toxic things, and you've got people humble bragging about all the stuff that they're doing and all the great success that they're having. And of course, you have the opposite side of that where you have people who are in despair talking about how they're about to lose their house and all of this other stuff, and they're begging for a job. Some of my favorite annoying posts are from influencers. There seems to be a lot of people over there who regurgitate the same content over and over again and repackage it, and it's all surface level stuff. There's not a lot of depth to their advice, and it's pretty generic. And in fact, there are several that I have caught flat out stealing other people's content and repeatedly doing it over and over again. And in fact, I know one prominent LinkedIn influencer who makes a habit of stealing other people's LinkedIn posts and people's thumbnails on YouTube. And so the reason why I wanted to make this video is that somebody actually made a comment to me about how they avoid LinkedIn at all costs because they're tired of it all. They feel like it's full of recruiters who hit them up for things that are not relevant at all to their profile. And of course, there is that component. There are people who just spray and pray on both sides, the job seeker and then also recruiters who spray and pray at the same time. It actually hurts their metrics on some level for the recruiters to do that. So at some point they are going to get into LinkedIn jail, and I'm not sure how some of them get away with it. But because I believe so strongly in it as a job seeking tool, that I really want to encourage people to continue to use the platform, but do it in a more productive way. Now, if you're somebody that's just steadfast saying there's absolutely no way I'm going to use LinkedIn, I can't stand the platform, then realistically nothing I say is going to convince you otherwise, and this is probably not the right video for you. However, if you're somebody that's trying to get more value out of the platform and is just feeling slightly annoyed and maybe has pulled back, you're the audience that I'm trying to talk to today. But before we get too far into it, if you're interested in taking back control and learning how to act like the CEO of your career, I've actually created a free weekly newsletter that you can sign up for. And in it, I give actionable tips each and every week on how to power up your career and your job search. And it's a really great resource. So if you're interested in learning more, head over to my website and sign up. It's absolutely free. So hope to see you over there. All right, so how do we make our LinkedIn feed a little less annoying? The first thing you want to do is find 10 to 15 people that you admire or resonate with. And they could be influencers, or they could be regular people, or they could be thought leaders in the space, or they could be large personalities. But whoever you resonate with, try to find people who are very active on the platform. In other words, they're posting consistently, perhaps daily. So what you want to do for those 10 to 15 people is go ahead and follow them and then click the little bell so that it notifies you whenever those posts come up. When those posts come up, you want to start to engage on them, like them, leave a little comment on them. It's great for networking and getting your name to start showing up to your own feed. But more importantly, it starts to tell the algorithm what it is that you want to see. And all these algorithms kind of work the same. For example, on YouTube, if you watch this video, you engage on it, you leave a little comment or whatever, you might see more of my face popping up, good or bad. In addition to that, you're also going to see other people who are similar to me also starting to show up in your feed. So you're training the YouTube algorithm for what it is that you want to see. The same principle applies over on LinkedIn. So you want to start to train the algorithm to show you the right kind of content. And as you engage on those folks, you can actually look at people who are engaging with them as well, and you might get some ideas for additional people to start following. The purpose of this is we want to start to train our feed to be a little bit more relevant to us instead of just a bunch of random people talking about a bunch of random things, arguing random politics, and all this other unsavory stuff that has chased you off the platform to begin with. As you're starting to engage on these people, you're inevitably going to start attracting new people that are going to try to connect with you. And so what I want you to do is really start to assess their fit for your feed. You can go in and vet them just like you would an employer or anybody else. Click on their profile, see that they're relevant, go and see what kind of content they've been engaging on. And if they seem like they're a good fit, then you might want to consider adding them. And me personally, when I'm considering adding somebody to my network, I'm asking myself the following questions. Do they provide value? Do they provide entertainment? Do they make me stop and ponder and think about the content that they create or produce or engage on? Or do they teach me something that I didn't know to begin with? And probably most importantly, do they inspire me on some level? If I can say yes to at least one of those criteria, then it's probably a good connection that I want to allow into my network, which leads to don't accept connection requests from people who have a high chance of being annoying. I know this sounds obvious, but I generally try to avoid adding people that I don't think are going to add value to my feed. And for me specifically, I don't generally add somebody who looks like they're about to pitch me some sort of service or a salesperson or a marketer. Now, it doesn't mean that if you're a marketing professional or a salesperson that I won't accept you. It's just if I know that you're trying to sell me something as soon as I hit the accept button, because I'm sure everybody has this experience, and I don't know if it's because I'm an influencer or whatever you want to call me, but on my title, on my heading on LinkedIn, I have career coach on there, and there's this whole genre of coaching that's coaching for coaches. And inevitably, every time I post, I attract more and more of these people who happen to notice my feed, and then they come in and I get a friend request or a connection request from them. And sure enough, I can see in their title, it'll say something like, I teach coaches how to, and then fill in the blank. And I go, oh, I know if I accept this connection request, I'm going to immediately get hit with a sales pitch. And sure enough, every time I do, within 20, 30 minutes of accepting the connection request, they go into an immediate sales pitch. There's no establishing of a relationship. There's no getting to know me. There's no adding any value at all. They're either doing that or they're asking me some sort of really lengthy question and it's not really valuing my time. And in those cases, I'll decline the request because I'm interested in community building and relationship building first and foremost. The next tip is to remove the abusers. So if there are people in your feed who routinely post inflammatory stuff or stuff that you're just not resonating with, then remove them. Some of you might be thinking, well, it's actually not my first connections. It's actually second and third degree connections, and somebody just is liking their stuff. And I'm now seeing the second and third degree connections inflammatory post or something that's not resonating with me. And my response to that is, well, if that first degree connection is continuing to engage on stuff that you don't resonate with, and now it's forcing it onto your feed, reevaluate whether or not the first round connection is somebody that you want to be connected to begin with. I liberally use the mute and unfollow buttons pretty frequently. And if it's a company or an ad that keeps on popping up in your feed, there's actually an option where you can hide that from being shown to you again. And so use that pretty liberally as well to start to train your feed. And if it's recruiters that are constantly hitting you up for the wrong kinds of jobs or jobs that are completely irrelevant, your best bet is to optimize your LinkedIn profile to clearly state the kinds of roles that you're interested in. But at the end of the day, you have to keep in mind that LinkedIn is a social media platform first and foremost. While you won't be able to eliminate all of the annoying posts on LinkedIn, or the recruiters that are hitting you up for unrelated jobs, you can train the algorithm to reduce the frequency of seeing those. So I would encourage you to take a look at your feed today and see where can you clean it up and where can you take the proverbial trash out. And if you're somebody that's on LinkedIn and you want to expand your network, I'm actually connected to a lot of recruiters and hiring managers. So send me a connection request if you want to get more second and third degree connections that might be relevant to you. And I'll leave a link to my LinkedIn down below. And if you're somebody that's sitting there saying, gosh, I don't even know where to start with LinkedIn, I don't have a presence there, I don't know how to use it, I actually created a couple of different resources. The first one is a LinkedIn profile template. And that is going to teach you how to set up your LinkedIn profile so that you are the most discoverable on the platform. And that's really great for job seekers who want more recruiters to start to notice them. It walks you through all the different settings that you should set up, how to build out your profile correctly. It's a really great resource. It's nice and tidy. It's a PDF download and you can get it immediately. But if you want a broader look at how to leverage the LinkedIn tool to your advantage as a job seeker, check out the course Unlocking LinkedIn, because I break down exactly how you can get recruiters to start noticing you so that you can get your phone to start ringing. More importantly, you can skip the recruiter altogether and head straight to the front of the line and potentially unlock some of those hidden jobs. And it also includes the LinkedIn template that I just referred to. So it's a really great resource. So I encourage you to check those out if you're struggling with your LinkedIn game, because I think they'll be game changers for you. So hopefully these LinkedIn tips will help you train your feed to be a little less annoying and a little bit more relevant. And as always, I appreciate you watching. We'll see you on the next one.